In this chapter, we're going to talk about the dark side of relationships. We're going to start by talking about this dark side in general, and then get more specific and talk about sexual and emotional cheating, as well as anger and aggression. So first, there are two dimensions largely of the dark side of relationships. The first of these is the degree to which that something is deemed acceptable or not by society. And the second is the degree to which something functions productively to improve the relationship or not. And so if an action within a relationship is deemed to be unacceptable or unproductive, or if a pattern within a relationship is deemed to be unacceptable or unproductive to that relationship, then we might consider that to be part of the dark side of that relationship. However, it might not always be easy to identify something as exclusively light or dark. Additionally, our society generally presumes that an increased understanding of a relationship or a relational partner would benefit the relationship, but we have to ask the question, is there such a thing as too much information? And in fact, numerous research studies have found that an increased understanding of a relationship or a relational partner may actually be negative. Let me explain. By avoiding discussing certain topics that might cause conflict, right? But by avoiding that topic altogether and by not understanding that side of things, some couples create and sustain positive illusions about their relationship that might cover up a darker reality. So we have to figure out what that balance is within our own relationships about what we share and what we don't, which calls to mind the dialectical tensions that we've talked about. Now, one of the elements of this dark side of relationships is the concept of lying. Now, I want to say right off the top here that lying doesn't always constitute a dark side of our relationships. We've all lied and concealed information in order to protect the feelings of someone else. And lying is really a communicative reality in all of our relationships. But lying, we tend to do it more in the initiating phase of a relationship. This is the time in that relationship where people may lie about things like their personality, their past relationships, their income, or their skill sets as they engage in impression management and try to project themselves as being likable and competent. So they might do things like exaggerating something that happened, which is another form of lying. And the reason that we feel more comfortable doing this is because when two people don't know each other very well, it's unlikely that the other person would have any information that would contradict what we're saying, or that they would be able to easily discover the lie. So we feel more comfortable with those little white lies as we are starting to get to know someone. Additionally, we might also lie to make somebody feel better, right? Total honesty in some situations could actually harm a relationship. And these kind of lies are called altruistic lies. These are often told to build the self-esteem of our relational partner, to communicate loyalty to that person, or to bend the truth, to spare someone from hurtful information. Essentially, an altruistic lie is telling someone what they want to hear. For example, you might tell your mom that you enjoyed her meatloaf when in reality it wasn't that great. But you do this to help maintain a smooth relationship with your mom. However, these altruistic lies could also become so prevalent that the receiver of those lies develops a really skewed self-concept that could hurt them later on down the line. Now, as we grow closer to someone, we tend to lie less frequently, and the way that we go about lying also changes. It becomes much more common for us to conceal information than to verbally deceive someone outright, or to lie by omission and to avoid communicating about subjects that could potentially expose a lie. Additionally, as we get closer to someone, this can make us better lie detectors. So we tend not to risk it as we get closer to someone because we feel like we are more likely to get caught in that lie, right? This can lead some people to put the relationship above the need for the truth because they're valuing that closeness over everything else. And a partner who suspects the other of lying might even intentionally avoid a particular topic in order to avoid discovering that lie, right? Because we just want to maintain the relationship and maintain that closeness. So while our closeness can make us better lie detectors, people in close relationships also have an element of a truth bias. In other words, they think that they know their relational partners so well and they think so positively of them and highly of them that this predisposes them to believe that their partner is telling them the truth, even when they might not be. Right? So our closeness with someone can work in both ways. It can help us to better detect lies, but it can also make us more blind to them. And as we were saying, lying isn't necessarily always going to be dark. And so this just exemplifies the fact that it's not easy for us to categorize these things necessarily into being part of the light side of a relationship or in the dark side.